All right. Parashat, where's my mishkafayim? Where are my glasses? Parashat Vayikra. So before I start, I would like to inform all our viewers, fans, and friends that right now there are two generous gentlemen which donated $1,000 each in a condition that it would be matched. So whoever can see it kind in his heart to help us match that, because if we raise $2,000, those $2,000 will go to the yeshiva plus whatever else that we were doing. So it will be tremendous help for us to do that. That's right. And you could also, if you need to donate your machatzit shekel, thank you very much, Yitzchak, machatzit shekel, or just for Tomchei Torah Shabbat, there will be a tremendous thing for you. You could do it through. I think the easiest way is through PayPal. So if you go to the Yeshiva website, yeshiva.etzion.com, it's right there. Let's leave the money. Let's talk about a little bit about Torah. So it says, Parashat Vayikra Hashem. You can take something to read. Vayikra Hashem el Moshe. I'm sorry, it didn't say Vayikra Hashem. I forgot. It says Vayikra el Moshe. Vayikra el Moshe. So right away in the beginning, we are faced with the calling of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Moshe Rabbeinu to arrange in front of him and to do the avodah in the Mishkan, which really comes to manifest itself as the connection of Am Yisrael to HaKadosh Baruch Hu by bringing the korbanot. The letter Aleph, of course, there were like inks and trees that were chopped and were written on this matter. However, the letter Aleph in the word Vayikra is called an Aleph Zeira. It's a small Aleph. We'll talk about this thing a little later. And some of the Mefarshim attribute that to the midah, to the quality of humbleness. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu wants to tell us that the divine call, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is calling him, came in a just so happens. It was incidental. It wasn't something that was regular, and in a way, by doing so, Moshe is trying to hint to us that he's not really worthy of the relationship that later on HaKadosh Baruch Hu is told that he had with Moshe, kedaber ish el chavero, like a person is talking to his friend. So he wants to say, listen, I really don't deserve this. This hint comes and tell us even further something else, which is really our awareness and acknowledgement of the Aleph, or should I say to Elohim, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We all know, and we spoke about it many times, that you can learn a lot about the essence of a letter and what it represents from the first place it appears in the Torah. And the first place that a letter Aleph appears in the Torah in the beginning of the world is in the word Elohim, is the word God. So therefore Aleph always refers to as that. So when we refer to this, what it tells us that there is an initial source that is really in charge of all actions in the universe, and when we have this, when we put the Aleph in Vayikra, it happens from something that happens not on a regular basis to something that happens permanently. We know, of course, the story. This smells so good. It's really crazy. I really did myself.
You made this?
No, Ari made this and I improved it. I really did.
I believe it.
It doesn't smell like yesterday. It's much better, right? Yitzchak knows what to put inside. So, and that's through this. So we're coming now. Let's take a pause 1 second. We're coming closer to Chag Purim and the mitzvah of erasing Amalek. We all know Amalek, Safek, Mapek, Yofe. The root of Amalek, of what we call an Amalek, it really comes, or what we have to do with Amalek, it really comes into terms, of full terms, in the expression Asher karcha baderech. right? The whole issue, the whole concept of Amalek, Isher Karcha Baderech, and we have to pay attention to those words, Karcha Baderech. Rashi explains that there are three different elements in the word Karcha Baderech, Kuf, Resh, Chav Sofit. The first one is Lashon Mikre, coincidence, something just happens. The other one is Lashon Kor, cold, Karcha Baderech, Lashon Kor, cold. And the last one is Lashon Keri Utumah, like Tumat Keri, and then the impurity that comes as a result of that. Amalek, which is very interesting. Where are my glasses? I should put them on my face one time. Amalek comes to really represents to us, or representing to us, the concept, and believe me when I say that, the concept that there's no God. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. In other words, that the world is really handling according to how or the world or the destiny is according to how men would shape and fashion his life, without any emunah, without any hashgacha, divine supervision. Whether it's hashgacha pratit, whether it's hashgacha klalit, nothing. The world is free for all. And because of that, everything happens as it becomes a coincidence. Just, I don't know, those things happen, it just happens. Remember, we had this expression not such a long time ago. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't know, it just happens. When Moshe came and gave Tochecha to Aaron, so what have you done? He says, I don't know. It just happened, this egel, this golden calf just came. That comes from the fact that something was wrong in their emunah, in the belief in God. And when a person really shapes his world and everything is an accident, or everything happens just like in coincidence, when there is no order, there's no supervision to events, Mimele, in any case, there's no such concept of din v'cheshbon. You don't have to give an account for anything. I mean, how can I give an account? It just happens. Right? And there is no guiding hand, there's no direction to reality, and everything happens because of, everything is coincidental, and therefore it's what we call kor, the chillness, and I'll expand it further, Bezat Hashem, or the being a cynical, that emptiness, that we empty everything, every action that we do, from every moral content or any value that comes to our actions, creates a catastrophe. And that emptiness, overpowers and becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And because of that, what happens is that instead of paying attention and being aware to what you're doing, since there is no din, there's no dayan, there's nobody for me to account for, so therefore, what is there left for me to do? Taivas, pleasure. I'm all involved with my pleasure, with my needs. There's no reason for me to contribute to others, no care about others. It's all about me. So all about bodily satisfaction and immediate gratifications, as much as you could see has happened today in the world. And by the way, if you would look at our society, that's basically the process in which happened that brought us today. Slowly, God was taken away from the equation of our daily lives, or what we do, to the point that, hey, free for all, do whatever you want. You want to marry a cactus? Marry a cactus. Just be careful where you put it. It might be a little pokey. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right?
No, elaborate. Please.
So, what would you like to show us?
How much you offer?
So, I mean, that's exactly what happened. They took God from courthouses, for in God we trust. one nation under God, and so on and so forth. Slowly, values, everything become empty today. And since we empty that, now you can fill it up with whatever you want. Fill your desires with no account, with no worries, with no thinking. It is absolutely one big garbage. You sometimes wonder yourself, why in the world do I need to live? This is what I came here for. And this is only because you took God out of the equation. And it happens here in America, it happens in Europe, it happens in Israel as well. The effort is to take God out, because if I take God out, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to give an account for anybody. And then they tell you that you're a fanatic. And by the way, this also has to do very much, it's a little sidetrack, it has to do a little bit also with the way we approach halakha. We always try to get the easy way out. I mean, we are sometimes becoming like little hypocrites. Why? Because we're not interested in doing what we need to do. We're trying to get away with as little as we can effort to do what we need to do, so we don't want to get burned in hell or whatever it is. And that's the attitude, and we should change this. Today, if you say a person, listen, I would like to be machmir, you're afraid, you're embarrassed. Why? Because, what are you, fanatic? I'm sure you heard a couple of times. Now, in Sefer Piked Rabbi Eliezer, there's a wonderful mashal. There is a king that was in his orchard, and he had a mean dog like tied to the entrance, and the king is sitting over there and he's watching what's going on. All of a sudden he sees one of his beloved friends coming in and stealing the fruit. So the dog does what the dog does, like this, rips his clothes, and the king comes in and brings him in. Now the king is a dilemma. Why is it a dilemma? Because if he's going to tell his friend, he says, "What did you steal from me?" Right? So what's going to happen? He's going to be embarrassed. He's going to embarrass him, he's going to lose him as a friend, and so on and so forth. The relationship is not going to be the same. So what does the king say? The king say, "I'm so surprised as this dog that didn't recognize that you were one of my friends, that I love you so much. Oh, this stupid dog, he bit you." Moshe Rabbeinu explained to us something that's similar on the same concept. It says, and he said to Israel, Zechor, you have to remember what Amalek did to you. By saying Zechor what Amalek did to you, he's hinting to the fact that for the real reason, why did Amalek come? Amalek did not come. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't want to tell Am Yisrael, listen, remember the time you didn't believe in God? Then Amalek came. He doesn't tell him that. He says, remember what Amalek did to you. You are expected to really understand what he wants you to do. And we know exactly why Amalek come to us. And Amalek come to us, and it goes like this. Vayikra shem hamakom Masa uMeriva. He called the name Masa uMeriva. Why? Al riv bnei Yisrael v'anasotam et Hashem le'emor. Hayesh Hashem bekirbenu imayin. Is there God among us, or there isn't? What does it mean? Is there God among us or isn't? I mean, didn't you just come out of Mitzrayim? What kind of a stupid question that is? Where's this coming from? You didn't believe. You lost your emunah. By the way, this is another example. Why miracles have nothing to do with increasing your emunah, and on the contrary, usually big miracles of such decrease your emunah. They don't contribute to your emunah. And you need to remember, Rebs, do me a favor, come sit next to me. I want you next to me. Come here, Tzaddik. You're sitting so far. All day long you're sitting here. Now you're sitting over there, but futzot in the galut. Right? So, and then it says, Vayavo Amalek. So what exactly happens when they want to do so? Vayavo Amalek Vayilachem in Israel. Where? The Refidim. Refidim to me always reminds me something else. Refei Yad, weak hands. Yadayim Rafot. When your hands were weak. In other words, when your emunah was weak. Amalek came because your emunah was weak. And we need to remember that. Above and beyond the obligation to remember Amalek, right? We need to remember that there is evil in the world, and our obligation to fight this evilness, this bad, with all our power that we can. Until, of course, the end. However, we're not always referring to external enemies. We're also talking about internal evil that is inside of us. And it's something that we always have to work, of course, to become more compassionate, to feel the pain of any human being, not only Jews. All human beings, you have to feel the pain. You have to be a person who is worthy to be called a messenger of God. You have to care. You have to care. However, the problem is that we have also a little bit inside of us, and we need to clear ourselves and clarify ourselves and purify ourselves from this filth that is coming and emerging for us inside, and to refine them and to make them, to put them on a good path. The example for that will be Amalek. Amalek is not necessarily an enemy. Amalek sometimes, which is really the peak of wickedness in the world, it's sometimes referred to something that Amalek had done to us inside, to our neshama. And that's something that Chachamim were dealing with, is about 4 different spiritual and personality qualities that really have to do with the essence of Amalek, and of course, Kenegdam, against them, something that the Jews have to have, which just take the complete opposite of that, which is of course the Kedusha. And that Kedusha that we all have will bring us ultimately to reveal the unification, the uniqueness, the oneness of Hashem. So let's see what it is. Being doubtful, safkanut, being doubtful. Always you have a safek. In other words, who said that? Who told you that? Is it really said that? You know those questions that people ask you? Oh, really? Where did you get this chidush from? Right, we hear this all the time. Or maybe we could say that's the opposite of what you're saying. Right? In other words, Hayesh Hashem b'kirbenu imayim. That root of this quality, of this midah, is doubting everything that comes your way. And the doubt is not for the sake of what we do in the Gemara. Okay, masvara, we want to get the nafkamina in order to really assort the will, to get down to the bottom of things, to ask questions that would lead you to a result, will lead you to an answer, would lead you to clarity. This is not what we are talking about. This is a question that just comes here to do the complete opposite, to bring you to a place of internal chaos, that you would not know what exactly is right and what is wrong, to doubt yourself, to doubt everything. In a way, to that matter, what the Nachash did to Adam HaRishon is what Amalek did to us. Well, תשמע, נו, אפשר, מי יודע, you know. To the point that I heard one time from someone, and he's a rabbi, that God is a concept. I don't know if Yitzchak remembered. Yes? You don't remember? Yitzchak was there. I almost fell. I was swinging on my chair, you know, like, and I almost fell back. I was like, what? God is a concept. That comes from that. That's the Amalek inside of it. Now, when you have those doubts, it pushes you away further from the truth. So therefore, keneged otam midah, we have to put tmimut, shalem, tamim Hashem Elokecha, and that's one side. And the other way to do so, tmimut, and the other side is a complete, how should I say it, dedicated effort to find the truth, to get down to the bottom of the thing, to reach clarity, depth. Now, on the other hand, another one, being pessimistic, is another very bad midah that comes from Amalek, being pessimistic. In other words, you know, what, as people said, they're not optimists and pessimists, they are optimists and realists. I'm a realist, I'm not a pessimist. When you ask somebody, listen, did you complain about the latest statement the Congress made about the anti-Semitic thing? No, why not? Forget it, there's nothing to do. By the way, I expect all of you to get off your whatever's on Sundays and take part in that demonstration, because if you don't show your voice, nobody will hear you when you call them. Don't make the mistakes that our ancestors made in Europe 70 years ago. Leave it, there's nothing to do. I expect all of you to be there and to bring your friends. You want details, find it on our group chat. In other words, leave it alone, nothing to do. If you ask somebody, how are you? I don't know, hanging on there. What, are you on the news or something? Why are you being so negative? Don't say, okay, I'm good. Right? That root is what called Yeush min ha'olam. I'm miyuash, I give up. I guess I'm going to be late a little bit. Right? I'm ready to give up. Like there's no point anymore. I'm demoralized. That's like I passed this thing already. Let me go to retirement and finish with this whole thing. Yeush, I'm miyuash. To that, Rav Nachman says, "En Yeush ba'olam," right? Not the Lubavitch. Nachman said, right? En Yeush ba'olam. Why en Yeush ba'olam? Because if you're a person who is a person of Malarim, you can be mityaesh. Darkness, being sad, being like with long face, is in a way a kfirah. Because why are you sad? Look at what you have. Count the blessings that you have. Don't count what you don't have. Because what you don't have doesn't really make a difference. You don't have it. Look at what you have. You're going to look at what you have, even when it comes to your spouse. Look at what you have, what is good, versus what you have that is bad. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Maybe. I'm getting it. But you know what I'm saying? Look at the good that you have and celebrate the good. Celebrate. I'm not saying ignore the bad, but start with celebrating the good. Let's say you have a kid who Pele Adam, he's like ADD on steroids. And you're jealous of this kid that his father says, he sits next to his daddy and he reads, Yele Tov Yerushalayim, Akol Tov Yafeh. Let me ask you a question. You have a problem. You're upset that your kid is so, because you want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to take away the kid back. Huh? I don't think so. You don't know what's going to be the end of the tunnel. Without mentioning names, and I told you stories about people that I knew that were Yele Tov Yerushalayim. Today they're sitting with half brain dead because they took too many mushrooms in Bolivia. Yele Tov Yerushalayim, knew Mishnayot by heart. Always with white shirt, goes like this, sandals with socks, like a perfect kid. Now, who's your daddy now? Right? Everybody used to tell me, listen, why can't you be like him? Where's him? Where's me now? Not just for anything, I'm just giving you an example. You never know what's going to be. So look at the blessing that you have. Every kid that comes to this world is a blessing for you. Doesn't make a difference in what shape he comes. You don't know what this kid is going to reveal to you that you weren't aware of before. So you should say thank you. Never say, never said, I heard this. I heard it. I heard people telling me, the kid is defective. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Weren't you happy when this kid came to this world and so on and so on? That comes from Amalek. That's a midah of Amalek. So against that, right? Against that, we have to increase our emunah. We have to increase our optimism. We have to look at the good, and we have to develop hope. Without hope, you're doomed. How should I say it? Without hope, you are dope. Write it down, Sam. Put it in your book, Sam. Without hope, you're dope. It's mamash kacha. A person with no hope has no energy to live. Be optimistic. It's going to be good. How is it going to be good? We'll make it good. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll make it good. But really believe that. Don't just say it. Another one. Coldness. Krirut. That is sadness. People come and say, why when you learn it, you're so excited? You have to relax a little bit, say it like this, relax a little bit. That coldness, when you are hot, what happens when you're hot? Hot like this, right? Energy is going. You started to sweat. There's some movement there in the molecule level. When it's cold, the colder it gets, the less movement of the molecules, right? And as a result of that, you're becoming heavy. As the Torah says, Ve'idei Moshe Kvedim, Refidim, right? And Refidim, Yidei Moshe Kvedim. Why? Sherafu Yisrael Yadeim Midivre Torah. The Mechilta says, because they kind of slacked off Torah, Rabotai. They didn't pay so much attention. Okay, we came out of Mitzrayim, we got some time. No big deal, yalla. לא צריך יותר מדי Torah. Let's not be fanatic again. אם אין קמח אין Torah, how many times you heard this? But everybody fails to tell you, invent Torah and Kemach. The only reason why you get the Kemach so you can learn Torah. You have to learn. לא להתרפות בתורה. Because Amalek wants you, the midah of Amalek, wants you not to learn, not to excel, not to excite your neshama. When you learn Torah, your neshama is excited. Something is moving there. You're feeding the neshama. Let's watch now NFL Network. Let's see if OBGYN, whatever his name is, Odell Beckham Jr., if he signed with this, if he threw the ball, Le'Veon Bell, if he got it, right? What's his name? The guy from Philly, Tate, did he sign with the Giants? Matt Patley. I was waiting for you. Right? Did you learn an extra Mishnah today? Did you learn another pasuk today that you didn't know yesterday? Did you find out, for example, a question? Did you know if Eliyahu Navi had a wife? Yitzchak? Did you know if Eliyahu Navi had children? Learn something you didn't know today. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So, you have to excite yourself, because that's what it says. Asher karcha baderech leshon kor v'chom. Amalek cooled you off. You were excited. You were eager. He put doubt in your head. Remember? Oops! Somebody moved the table. People get seasick from it. Right? You were excited. How many times does it happen to you? You made a decision. Okay, I'm going to do it. As soon as you make the decision, why, maybe I didn't do the right thing. Why did I propose to her? Maybe she... Always like that. Why do we have to sign up for Yeshiva now? I'm going to find the Kala learning. I'm not going to find... That's lack of emunah, Rabotai. That's Amalek. What do you mean? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you don't believe he's going to find you Kala? He's going to leave you alone like this? It's something if you said, no, I don't want to marry. Okay, this one, no, this one, no. Okay, that's something else. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to send you stuff your way. That quality of, I don't want to learn because I have to invest, I have to secure my parnasa. That's a mistake. You have to first of all learn in order to deserve the bracha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But you're going to get it in two different ways. You're going to get it because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, listen, everybody does something, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you some parnasa, יאללה, תלך מפה, לקח, לא רוצה את זה, לך, קח, קבל, get everything בעולם הזה. Another person, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, listen, he learns Torah, I need to help him. I'll give him כדי מחייתו בעולם הזה, ועוד גנוז לו לעולם הבא. עולם הבא, he's going to get everything. He wants to really learn. He seriously wants to learn. I'll get him a wife that really wants him to learn. You don't want to learn? It's not a problem. I'm going to get him a wife that his wife going to tell him what to do so he would not learn. You want somebody sitting like this on top of your head? Imagine she's going to be like 200 pounds. You're going to have a problem there with your back. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is the core of Amalek. Now, how do we go against that? we have to have simcha. Simchat chayim. If you don't have happiness of the fact that you are alive, there's something wrong with you. That's why you're never going to live your life. Maybe you leave your life, but I told you many times, leave your life, don't live your life. In other words, you have to have chayut, to experience life, to be happy, to be excited, to have livelihood in your life, not to be a zombie. You don't believe me? I'll tell you this. I went, a while ago, I went to the subway. I went to a doctor. I was looking at people around me in the subway. I'm just like doing observation. You don't need to go to class for that. Just doing the observation on the train. Most fascinating thing. It's like, what a bunch of miserable people. Everybody's like this, with those, earplugs in their ear. מה זה? תסתכל, שלום, The worst thing for us, Rabotai, all those electronic devices. You're on a train. There's no connection. Don't look. No, there's no chayut. You're living life like a zombie. I don't believe in the zombie apocalypse. Like some people are so retarded. They watch movies. They actually believe in zombie apocalypse. I mean, what have you been smoking?
People prepare for it.
Huh?
They prepare for it.
They prepare for zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's zombie apocalypse. The zombies are all around us now. You go in the street. You see people are walking, but they're dead. There's no joy. There's no simcha. That's why I like the Latinos. They're a little bit action there. Right? Hot-blooded, check it and see. Italianos. Even the Italians nowadays are like this. They look like spaghetti on, there's overcooked. Some joy, some sign that you are alive. I'm really serious. Go look at people get off the train, get off the buses. They look dead. They look like they're brainstormed. They look like the Matrix. They all took the blue pill, whatever pill they took there. By the way, was there a green pill?
No.
Why only blue and red? I guess that's the conspiracy of the two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. They don't rely on anybody else, only green and blue. You got that? Matrix. You have to do Chazara. You have to go back on the Matrix. Anyway, another one. Being a joker. In other words, being cynical. It's also Midah of Amalek. In other words, you don't take anything seriously. Everything is a joke for you. Nothing is serious. No serious moment. By the way, if you have a person like this, most likely is a very insecure person as well. Right? So that Midah comes because of the will of Amalek to really reduce and to erase any kind of words of ethics, musar, rebuking. That's why going up or listening to stand-up comedians is destructive. You should stay away from stand-up comedy. It makes fun of everything that is moral, and in a way it goes back to the back door of your head for you to say the same thing. It's kind of brainwashing. Nobody could be brainwashed unless he give the permission or the willingness to be brainwashed. When you go, you have to be an absolute buffoon to go to stand-up comedy. Why? Because not only you're being brainwashed and you're being washed by filth, you also have to pay money for it. What is wrong with you? But thinking does not hurt. It doesn't hurt to think. We have to become more thinkers than some cheap entertainment. Family Guy, all these shows, it's for morons. You have to stay away from all the shows. Stay away from TV series, all this Simpson, morons. I really mean that. You have to be an absolute buffoon to watch that. Go watch opera. It's better off to watch The Simpsons. I'll tell you what. Not that it's so good. Not that it's so good. But if you let me watch Family Guy, or let me watch Sons of Anarchy, I'll watch Sons of Anarchy before I do that. At least you get some motorcycles. Not that you should watch it. Relax. Not that you should watch it. Just beautiful motorcycles. I love motorcycles. You like motorcycles? Yeah? Where's yours? Together with mine, right? At least I have a leather jacket. And a lot of boots. Now, how do you overcome that? You have to develop depth. A little bit more depth in your actions. Think. Learn some philosophy. Instead of reading the New York Slimes, or the Washington Compost, or any other choleras you over there, they're all anti-Israel, anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. All run by Jews. Jews are really turned to be stupid people. I don't understand how would I don't want to say anything. Anyway. So instead of watching those things, why don't you take a course in philosophy? For crying out loud. Instead of watching Simpsons, go watch Vsauce. By the way, I should tell you that this show is sponsored by Exit Realty in Fresh Meadows, our dear friends over there. Big supporters of the Yeshiva. I cannot thank them enough. And that's the kind of people that we want. We want people who give. People who see the importance of giving and sharing and building a community. And that's why we need your help, by the way, to help the Yeshiva grow. Hey, couldn't you say? I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Domo arigato. Now, those Amaleki qualities really poison and damage your neshama, yourself, your own neshama, and also contaminate the people around you, the society, the environment around you, and creates inside of you movement that is completely opposite of the spiritual movement of a Jew, which is seriousness, depth, optimism, and simcha, and joy. And by the way, there's no difference between simcha and depth, between seriousness and optimism. There's no contradiction. On the contrary. If we're going to be able to develop this, we're going to be, and so that's what we says. וליהודים הייתה what? יצחק, מה הייתה ליהודים? אורה, בשמחה, בששון, ויקר. Right? אורה, בשמחה, בששון, ויקר. 4 qualities that we should have to correspond against the 4 qualities that we said beforehand that Amalek had placed into us. That's, by the way, as you could see in the Megillah, the sword of Purim that came out like this. That's how we beat Aman. The Jews went to parties all the time. But look what happened. Now, so when we say Zechor et asher asa lecha Amalek, Zechor et asher nishmatcha, whatever he calls you neshama, because his contamination, that he contaminated us, was not only by killing us, but also contaminating our neshama and our Jewish neshama. So let's go back one second. That's very important to understand that. If you're able to do so, you might understand why Sefer Vayikra starts with a small aleph, as we said before. In Sefer Divrei Hayamim, Chronicles, Pasuk, Perek.
Zayin.
Pasuk?
Vav.
No.
Is it Zayin?
Aleph. Because we are talking about the letter Aleph, no? In Divrei Hayamim, we find the word Adam, Adam HaRishon, it says Adam, with Aleph Rabbati, a big Aleph. And as a rule, there are 3 different types of letters in Sefer Torah. There's a small, there's a medium, and there's a large one. Most of the letters are, of course, medium, but sometimes when the Torah wants to teach us a spiritual value, erech ruchani, it would change the size of the letters to tell us something. Adam HaRishon held a lot from himself. Adam HaRishon filled himself up with a lot of kavod and ga'ava and wonderful thing. I am the man! Because of that, he sinned. Aleph Rabbati. Big Aleph. And if we understand the difference between a big aleph and a small aleph, might be able to understand what is the path, the appropriate path for us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would approve for us to get, or to go on to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because the biggest curse that a person can experience in his life is distance between God, and that is the whole essence of a sin. When you sin, what do? You put distance between you and God. That is your punishment. Again, we said it many times, not the punishment that you say, makut, and this and that, because that's an atonement. The punishment is the sin that you did, because when you sinned, God did not exist for you in that moment. You understand? Now, so last Shabbat, we read that at the end of Sefer Shemot, ולא יוכל משה לבוא אל האוהל, אל אוהל מועד, כי שכן עליו הענן וכבוד השם מילא את המשכן. Moshe could not come near the Mishkan because the cloud was over there. And the Torah explained to us, because Moshe did not enter the tent because of the cloud. After that, the cloud went up above the Mishkan, and in a way HaKadosh Baruch Hu invites Moshe Rabbeinu to enter inside to come, but Moshe Rabbeinu does not enter. It lifts, and Moshe Rabbeinu does not enter. The reason for that, which is brought in the words of Chazal, that Moshe Rabbeinu was the most humble man ever existed. Most humble man ever existed. And he did not see himself as worthy. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaro. He did not see himself worthy to enter the Mishkan. That's why he stayed out. He didn't say, oh, look, by the way, at Haman. It's the opposite of Moshe. Haman, when he came over there and says, oh, who did do this all? For me. Ish asher hamelech hafetz b'ikaro. Moshe Rabbeinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu lifts his cloud over the Mishkan, tells Moshe, in a way, hits Moshe to come in. Moshe said, I'm not coming, I'm not worthy to go in. Where are you holding in that? Oh, it's all for me. I'm the greatest. Unless you're Cassius Clay, you cannot be the greatest. If you know what I mean. Now, so in the beginning of Parashat Vayikra, Kadosh Baruch Hu calls Moshe upon in a direct way, and he asks him to come in. Chazal teach us that the word Vayikra is Lashon Chavivut v'neimut. It's like, come on, tatale, bo tikshili, bo, right? That's what Kadosh Baruch Hu told him. He likes Moshe Rabbeinu. And he says, Vayikra Kadosh Baruch Hu, Vayikra Kadosh Baruch Hu, koreh le Moshe. He asked him directly to come in, please. Bo hina. And the reason for that is very simple, because Moshe was humble. HaKadosh Baruch Hu liked Moshe because he was anav. And that comes in the small aleph, that in that, because he made himself smaller. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell him, Vayikra el Moshe. Moshe writes with an aleph, without an aleph. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, no, Motek. Tirshom aleph. Leave aleph. Now, we know again, we just said that the ga'ava, arrogance, and self-importance brought Adam HaRishon, that is written with a big aleph, to do major sin that we all suffer from today. And that really made him in a state of confusion that could not tell between good and bad, and we are in that stage until today. That's why we need to learn Torah, that Torah clarifies the doubts. And if you learn Torah appropriately, you can elevate yourself to a place of Adam HaRishon before the sin. Because I know it, because that's what happened when we received the Torah. So now, when we received the Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was very happy with us. Why? Because it says, Vayanu vayamdu mirachok. They went backwards. Not because they were afraid of getting the Torah or they didn't want to. They were too humble. At that moment of humbleness, Paskazu Matosh Nachash, at that moment, the Tum'ah that the Nachash had put in Am Yisrael had expired. However, when they started doing barbecue again, and belly dancing, it was all gone, all over. But the tum'ah was posek because of the anava. They realized how great and awesome the event was, and so on and so forth. And the other reason that Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to write Vayikra velo Vayikra, because he wrote the same thing regarding Bilam. Bilam, Hashem spoke to him, and he said Vayikra Hashem and Vayikar. It says Vayikra, but it says Vayikar. So he says, I wanted to be the same thing like Bilam. It's not right. I mean, I don't feel that the nevuah prophecy comes to me because I'm so good. Probably just like him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, no, Habibi, you're going to write what I tell you. You're going to write Aleph, with an Aleph. So he said, okay, no, make a small Aleph. Baal HaTurim explains that argument that Moshe Rabbeinu had with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give Moshe Rabbeinu the kavod, and to speak to him b'dibur shalem, Vayikra, without any otiyot chaserot, which is Lashon Chiba, Lashon Kedusha, Lashon that Malachei HaSharet, refer to Moshe Rabbeinu, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And look at Bereshit Rabbah and Vayera and Parashat Nun Bet Siman Hey. Moshe Rabbeinu asking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to write Vayikar, this is Lashon Tum'ah. And then, they say, fine, write it with an Aleph. However, Vayikaru v'tum'ah, Vayikaru v'Vayikra, the Admor from Sashnochov explains, the Baal Shem Mishmuel explains this beautiful in the name of his father. And according to him, and according, there is a big difference in the essence between Vayikar, that it says in Bilam, to Vayikra, that it says in Moshe Rabbeinu. That in Bilam, he did not, and I'm quoting, לא נתעלה על ידי הדיבור ונשאר בלעם הרשע כמו שהיה אומר בחוץ. The fact that he spoke to God did not make a difference to him. He was the same degenerate person as he was before and after HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to him. לבין לשון ויקרא שמשמעותה הוא שקרא אותו שיקרא בלו ונתעלה לקראת הדיבור. But it says Vayikra because Moshe Rabbeinu elevated himself. And how do you elevate yourself? By realizing that, the importance of humbleness. Moshe Rabbeinu did not want to write this upon himself. It says, it's not for me to write my own praises. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you're not writing it, I'm telling you to write. And how do we know that Moshe Rabbeinu was humble? And why did Moshe Rabbeinu? We said because he was humble, HaKadosh Baruch Hu liked him. How do we know that? We're almost there. It says that the reason why he didn't want to go into the Mishkan, because he said, what happened? Anybody knows what happened there in the event? He said there. He's going to pray for Aaron. He prayed for Aaron HaKohen, Aaron his brother, that is going to reach the Gdula, and the Shekhinah came on Aaron because of the tefillah of Moshe. However, he did not allow himself to enter the Echal because he didn't feel that he is appropriate to be more than Kohen Gadol. Aaron was a Kohen Gadol. He says, I'm not worthy of that. And you could look also something very beautiful in Midrash Tanchuma. And it says, Vayikra el Moshe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu called Moshe. Because it says in Mishlei, Geut Adam tashpelenu v'shafal ruach itmoch kavod. A person who is humble, he's going to be praised. He's going to be honored. Any person, I'm quoting, any person that escaped from the srara, Hasrara rodefet oto. You escape from praises and titles. Oh, I'm a chief rabbi, I'm a cheese rabbi. That the authority runs away from you. The more you escape from it, you will say, I don't need this, the more kavod will chase after you. Shaul barach min hasrara veratfa acharav. He didn't want to become a king, he became a king. Moshe barach min hasrara, he didn't want to do that. He says, Mi ani, ma ani, I'm nothing, right? לבסוף הוציאם וקרא להם את הים והביאם אל המדבר והוריד להם את המן והעלה להם באר והגיז להם את הסלב ועשה את המשכן. אמר, מכאן ואילך, מה יש לי לעשות? From this point on, what is there for me to do? All these things, there's nothing for me to do. I'm a nothing. עמד וישב. He sat down. אמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, חייך, יש לך מלאכה גדולה מכל מה שעשית. There's something greater than what you did. And what is that? ללמד את בני ישראל טומאה וטהרה. You have to teach the Jews to designate between purity and impurity. So Rabotai, when you learn those things, it's greater than all the miracles that happened to you in Sinai. We need to understand that. ולהזהירן, and to warn them how to bring a korban. That's why he says, Vayikra el Moshe. And he, in a way, Vayikra not only called, he also read to Moshe. However, why did Moshe enter? So Moshe Rabbeinu, you should know, blamed himself that the Shekhinah does not come on the Mishkan, and it says, it's probably because of me. Therefore, only because of Aaron, the zchut of Aaron, would allow the Shekhinah to come on the Mishkan. It's because of me. I wasn't worthy. And why? But Chachamim tells us that also when Aaron himself entered the Mishkan on the 8th day of the Miluim, and which was in when? In Aleph Nisan, Shekhinah did not come during the 7 days. Moshe builds the Mishkan, right? Makes the Kohen Gadol every single day, then takes it apart, right? According to some opinions. However, regardless of that, doing that, the Shekhinah did not come. The Shekhinah did not arrive. As Rashi brings, and it says, שכל שבעת ימי המילואים שהעמיד משה המשכן והיה משמש בו, every time he used to do that, the 7 days, ומפרקו לא שכנה שכינה בו, והיו ישראל נכלמים, and the Jews were embarrassed, שכינה is not coming in. And they told Moshe רבנו, כל הטורח שטרחנו, all the effort that we had put in, שתשרה שכינה בינינו, that the Shekhinah would dwell among us, that we should know that the sin of the Egel is being atoned for. Amar lahem, he said to them, Aaron achi kedai v'chashuv mimeni. What Aaron is more important than me. Why? Shekorbonotav ve'avodato tishre banu Shekhinah. What he's going to do, that's going to cause the Shekhinah to come. כיוון שראה אהרון שקרבו כל הקורבנות ונעשו כל המעשים ולא ירדה שכינה לישראל, when Aaron saw that he did all this קורבנות and nothing came, היה מצטער ואומר, and he says, ודאי שהקדוש ברוך הוא כועס עליי, הקדוש ברוך הוא is angry with me, בשבילי שלא ירדה שכינה לישראל, because what I did, because he was a part of the עגל. אמר לו משה, משה אחי, כך עשית לי, שנכנסתי ונתביישתי. You know, look what you did to me. I came in, I was embarrassed. מיד נכנס משה עמו וביקשו רחמים וירדה שכינה לישראל. Moshe went and asked for mercy from God. The Shekhinah came about. The zchut of Aaron itself by itself was not enough to bring the Shekhinah on the Mishkan. And only when both of them entered in unison and they asked the Shekhinah themselves, they asked for mercy, only then the Shekhinah came. As the Kli Yakar explains in Shmot Chavchet Pasuk Aleph, שללא תפילתו של משה על אהרון לא הייתה שכינה שורה על מעשיו של אהרון. The only reason Aaron was capable is because Moshe prayed for him. Because it said שמצד העגל נתרחק אהרון, because of מעשה העגל, Aaron was removed from that as much as the Bechorim, the firstborn, was removed from the Avodah. ומשה קרבו בתפילותיו. Moshe was the one who brought them together. נמצא, therefore it was as a result of that, שבעבור שקרבו משה אליו, because of that, נבחר בזכות משה, אף על גב שהיה בתוך בני ישראל. He was the one chose because Moshe asked for him. מכל מקום קרבו מתוך בני ישראל העובדים. He brought them closer to Hashem. So Moshe Rabbeinu, that was humble, and at that moment, he did not say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for me, man, help me out. He says, no, for my brother, that humbleness, he was the one who was rewarded to continue and teach all the people who come to the Mishkan on how to do it. He was the teacher of the teachers, and he's the one who taught them how to bring the korban and how to do all this thing. And that is a new chapter that we're learning in the lesson of humbleness. Humbleness is the tool in which excavates inside of us to become the vessel for the Shekhinah to dwell inside of us. If not, that self-importance, that quick tongue that we have, these are all items or qualities that cause us to become tameh, impure, all the result of Amalek, because of lack of emunah, and because of that there's a distance between us and God. So whatever it is that you do, you need to first of all measure your acts. It doesn't make a difference how talented you are and how good you are. You need to ask yourself truthfully the question, who am I doing this for? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Would I do it if nobody would recognize me? Would I continue doing it if nobody will tell me, listen buddy, you're really good? What will happen if nobody will ever tell me that? Would I continue doing what I'm doing? If the answer is truthfully, not the baloney you tell everybody, including yourself, truthfully. Well, if nobody tells me, that means nobody, I'm not doing this. Therefore, you have a lot of work to do. If the answer is, I'm doing it for Kvod HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't need the people to appreciate me, I don't need to hear it from the people, I'm doing it because I have to, Kadosh Baruch Hu appreciates that. Well, then you're on a good path. You have to evaluate all your actions. Understand that the qualities and the advantages that you have over your fellow Jew were given for you with a purpose. And the purpose is not self-promoting, self-propelling, self-importance. That is the biggest enemy that a Jew could have. Any human being, but especially of a Jew. Because we are all Goy Kadosh Mamlechet Kohanim. We are a nation of humble people and people who are interested in Kedusha. Rabotai, Pesach is around the corner. Aleph Nisan, it's 6 months from Rosh Hashanah. It's exactly half a year. However, those halves are not exactly 50%. From Pesach to Rosh Hashanah, it flies very fast. You need to realize that now. How are you going to stand in front of God in Rosh Hashanah? Don't be arrogant. Don't be pompous. Don't be a joker. Don't be sarcastic. Don't be negative. Be a Jew. Shabbat Shalom.